Hey, welcome. Have you ever scrolled through home listings and just thought to yourself, how does anyone actually do this? If you have, you are definitely not alone. It feels like the dream of owning a home is more confusing and farther away than ever for a whole new generation. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and find out what's really going on.
All right, let's just start with a number that's pretty staggering. 40,000. That's how many home purchase deals fell apart in a single month. Now, that's not just a few people getting cold feet. That's a huge wave of buyers pulling back, and it's a major signal that something in the system is broken.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at this big pullback in home buying. Then we'll tackle the obvious culprit everyone points to, interest rates. After that, we're going deeper, much deeper. We'll look beyond the rates to a massive cultural shift, unpack the true cost of a mortgage that trips up almost everyone, and then wrap up by asking a really big question about our priorities as a society.
Right, so as that first number showed, we are in the middle of a massive pullback. Home sales have just dropped to lows we haven't seen in a long time. For tens of thousands of people, that dream is officially on hold. But the real question is, why?
Well, if you ask pretty much anyone on the street, you'll probably get the same simple answer. Interest rates. And look, they're not wrong. Completely. It's the easy explanation, the one you see in every single headline, right?
But hold on, before we even get to the rates, you have to look at this. Just a couple of years ago, the median home price was about $329,000. Today, it's over $427,000. That's a nearly $100,000 jump. So you're starting from a much higher place before interest even enters the picture.
Okay, now let's throw those interest rates into the mix. This is what you could call the 1-2 punch. At a 3% rate, that $400,000 house might have been a bit of a stretch, but maybe doable. But at 7%, forget about it. The monthly payment on the exact same house just explodes, and for millions of people, it becomes completely unaffordable.
And you know, this quote just nails the trap so many people fell into. The advice was, date the rate, marry the house. Basically, just buy the house now and you can always refinance later when the rates get better. But as real estate expert Ashley Pickens points out, well, the rates haven't gone down, so people are stuck.
So here's the thing. Yes, prices and rates are a huge piece of the puzzle. Of course they are. But they are not the whole story. And if we just stop there, we miss what's actually a much more profound and frankly more interesting story happening underneath it all.
Yeah, just blaming the rates is way too simple. There is a huge generational and economic shift going on right now. It explains why buying a home doesn't just feel more expensive, it feels downright impossible to a whole generation of people.
And this brings us to this fascinating cultural idea, the girl boss backlash. What does that mean? Well, younger generations, Gen Z especially, looked at the whole hustle culture that was sold to millennials, climb that corporate ladder, work 24/7, and they're basically saying, hard pass. Why? Because they saw it didn't really pay off for most people.
This slide just sums it up perfectly. You have the millennial girl boss ideal, all about entrepreneurship and ambition. And then you have the Gen Z goal of a soft life, which is really about prioritizing well-being, peace, and just balance. And honestly, it's not laziness. It's a completely rational reaction to an economic system that feels like a dead end.
And why did this change happen? Well, look at the facts. The pay gap has barely moved. People are graduating with mountains of debt for degrees that don't land them the jobs they were promised. It feels like the whole system is rigged to reward corporations, not workers. The fundamental promise that hard work gets you ahead just doesn't feel true anymore. All right, so you've got this big cultural shift, and then there's this really practical financial landmine that trips up so many first-time buyers. I think this is a huge reason why those 40,000 contracts we talked about got canceled. It's a massive misunderstanding of what a house actually costs each month.
You need to know this acronym. It's PITI. It stands for Principal, Interest, Taxes, and Insurance. And trust me, if you don't know what this means, you are setting yourself up for a really nasty surprise.
Okay, this is the big aha moment. So, principal. That's the part of your payment that actually pays down your loan. Interest is what the bank charges you for borrowing the money. Most people get that. But then there's the other two. Taxes, that's your property tax that goes to your local town or city. And insurance, you have to have homeowner's insurance. All four of these get bundled into one single monthly payment.
And here is the trap. Those online mortgage calculators you play with, they almost always just show you the P and the I, principal and interest. They totally leave out the taxes and insurance, which can easily add hundreds, sometimes even $1,000 or more, to your monthly bill.
So people think they can afford a house based on one number, and then they find out the real number is way, way higher. It's a classic bait and switch.
So when you put it all together, the crazy prices, the high rates, a whole generation rejecting the career grind, and this super confusing mortgage math, you start to realize this isn't just about housing. It's a much bigger question about what we, as a society, actually prioritize.
And that leads to this bigger conversation. What would it actually take to make things like buying a home more attainable? A lot of economists and policy experts point to things that reduce financial stress across the board, things that would make those big life goals like having a family or buying a home feel less like an impossible dream.
And that's really the question I want to leave you with. Forget the interest rates for a second. What would our country, our economy, our whole society look like if the main goal was to actually help families thrive? What would change?
Well, that's what we've got for today. If this helped connect some dots for you about the housing market, do me a favor and share it with a friend who might be asking these same questions. For more explainers just like this, make sure you like and subscribe to HomeSmart Academy. Thanks so much for watching.